Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are all doing well. Hello, Michael.
Hello, hello.
Happy Monday, everyone. Today is Monday, December 4th. Oh my gosh, the last month of 2023. It's been pretty quick this year. It's just went by really fast. All right, Michael? It just like really quickly. Hope everyone's doing well. I just wanted to say hello to everyone who are chatting here. Thanks so much for joining us today. Today is December 4th, 2023. Michael and I getting together again and do our weekly discussion. Michael, if you could please say hello to everyone.
Hello, everyone. Happy Monday, December 4th, 2023. Pretty soon we won't be saying 2023 anymore, Julie. So, hello, everyone out there. Hope you're having a fantastic day.
Yes, I know we won't be saying 2023 anymore. Well, we're talking about December. So I think that this month, everybody's we all probably experiencing the fact that we're getting another year closer to the end of 2023. We're getting a little bit older, right? It's coming 2024. We're going to get a little bit older. People are start realizing the fact that, my gosh, 2023 has gone so fast. Have we ever achieved anything that we've set out the goal to be in 2022? And now people are start making goals, setting the New Year's resolutions. And then we are seeing some people, their growth, they're doing so amazing 2023, but then when it hit this month right after Thanksgiving, everybody's kind of start lacking off in terms of professional life. We'll start saying, oh, it's getting so closer to the holiday. People is going to take vacations. Let's just lack off a little bit. The truth of it is, it doesn't matter where we are, Michael. Being in Onpassive, we do know that there are so many things that are going on behind the scene of Onpassive, and they're not lacking off at all. They're actually working so hard, do it or die, right? For our futures. And so today, when Michael and I get together today, we wanted to talk about the growth of Onpassive, the growth of our professional life, and the growth of our individuals or professional or personal life. And maybe what we're discussing today, hoping that we all can somehow take a few things that we share today and let's grow together, or let's separate ourselves from the old values that we are experiencing in our life in 2022 and early 2023 until now, and hopefully replace it with the new or the more values that we can actually grow together as a community, as a family, as a team, whatever it is. So this is what we wanted to talk about. So Michael, let's start it with discussing with us here about the growth of Onpassive. As we are experienced in the past year, we see that Onpassive has been growing so rapid rate, from a small office to a building to owning the floors to be known everywhere around the world. So let's start with that, Michael.
Yes, for those who have been following along and watching on Passive over the years, and certainly those that have been involved directly, we knew we started in 2018, summer of 2018, and we quickly grew from 10,000 to 50,000 the next year in 2019, over 400,000, the following year, over 800,000. Up until last year, where we kind of hit the 1.4 million-ish mark, and then even coming into 2023 with over 3 million combined total users / customers. So, we've seen the growth over the years, Julie, and can we imagine, where we'll be another 5 years from now? From a growth standpoint, we've seen those numbers as far as users and customers. We also seen the growth of the company itself from expanding from one office to two offices and three and so on, and there's so much more. So we know that the companies continue to grow regardless of what challenges come our way, and that's the beauty of it. And it's just like life, you know, even in our day-to-day lives, we experience challenges, we go through stuff, right? And what do we do? How do we react to that, right? Do we overcome it, or do we just kind of back down and let it, take over? No, especially at this time of year when people start to reflect, all that has happened throughout 2023, and as they make plans going into the new year, what are some of the things that people will be taking away from the past, so that they can bring into the future to make the future much better for themselves and their family. And so that's what On Passive is all about. On Passive is about looking at the past to see what has been done out there in the marketplace. What have companies done? How have people benefited from that? And then now to say, okay, we can put forth solutions that's going to help you and your family, get out of that rat race, help you and your family start to grow financially, and also even from a personal standpoint, how we've grown over the years, Julie, just even with your mindset. So much has happened in On Passive, and we have a lot to be thankful for as we just finished going through Thanksgiving in the US. But certainly as we look forward, knowing that there's so much more to come. So the future is just so bright for all of us here at On Passive.
Absolutely, Michael. As we are looking at Onpassive and we see how Onpassive is growing, all of us, as we call ourselves early birds users, brand ambassadors, no matter what we call ourselves, we just need to grow with the company. For example, if we were looking at our product, our O Connect product, it's growing. It's growing in terms of the users itself, is also growing in terms of the offering what On Passive is offering to the world. More features are adding to it as we are growing. That is another growth too. How do we measure that growth? It's what we see. We stay update with our information. We stay, close to it, to the meetings, the summaries, all the information that's out there to us. Is basically what we need to do. Is we're growing, we need to grow with the company, and that's what we're sitting here is talking, and hopefully what we share here with you, uh, you'll be able to actually take it in and grow yourself in certain ways that the company or yourself decide to do and make goals to do. If you really like our conversation, so far, if you like the way how we just discuss about this certain topic, please share it out. Michael, let's talk about another aspect of the growth in On Passive in terms of the people that are growing. You mentioned about 3 million people, but there are other things that are growing in terms of the pillars of On Passive that we discussed last week.
Yeah, absolutely, Julie. There's, there's no shortage of information, and certainly no shortage of growth when it comes to Onpassive. And so we've seen, the even the expansion, right, or the growth of products, right? Okay, a few years ago, the company was still working on products, and now they're able to deliver some of those products to us where we don't even have to even pay for it, right? Which is a beautiful thing, Julie. There are millions of people around the globe who can use some of our products, can use Oatmeal, can use ONet, can use Otrim, right? And certainly, of course, we have our paid product, O Connect, that many around the world can use. Even if they want to come in and just test drive it, you have a 14-day free trial just to experience it for yourself. And once you realize the potential, right, and all the great features that are there, certainly, a lot of customers will go on to become paid customers using their products going forward, right? So we know that there's the expansion there from that standpoint, and there's more to come, right? In the next few months, more products will be rolled out for us, and to the marketplace, right? So that's a good thing, Julie. When we look at, all that the company has been doing as far as making sure that we have our payment gateway, having our merchants, being able to purchase as well as be able to pay out commissions. All these things are valid points that the company has to take care of if you want to have a viable business. If you want to have a massive business that's going to reach people around the world, all these things are important. And so as we start to look, Julie, and we talked about Catmo last time, and we start to look and see the complete system, seeing everything, the each piece, each component being put together, right? That is exciting, right? For people around the world who have never achieved success in any business, now they'll be able to come into Onpassive and experience just that for themselves. So we certainly know that in each of the pillars that we spoke about last time, we know that the company continues to grow in those areas. Data center, right? We know how important it is to have that, right? It's coming, right? We know that we have to be able to control the data. We want to keep people's information private. Privacy is very, very important. It's at the top of the list for Onpassive, right? And so we know so many companies around the world, they abuse our information, right? Sell it out to another company, and so on, right? Even as a matter of fact, Julie, just last night I was on a conference call, something to do with my daughter, and the coach was talking about these recruiting services, and how it works, right? And how they basically they ask for your contact information, and they in turn sell that information. They'll package it to different universities and so on, and again, they're getting paid for that, and it's our information, but we're not getting paid for it at all. You know what I mean? So just last night, that was at the tip of my tongue, because it's real, right? This is exactly what happens out there in the marketplace. But Onpassive says, no, it doesn't have to be that way. There's no need for us to sell people's information. So we want to put ourselves in a position where we can control that, where we don't have to deal with third parties if it's not necessary. So certainly that is one thing that's at the top of the list, to ensure that every single person who comes in contact with Onpassive, that their information will be safe, Julie.
Absolutely, Michael. Talking about our information's being saved, we're talking about the integrity. As we can see, and observing the fact that some of our leaders, our CEOs, our COO, our CMO, our CTO, all that's going on right now in Onpassive. Onpassive is being so authentic and so transparent to the point right now. Our integrity is so high, and everyone's around the world, basically, I meant the government ranking high, wants to be part of Onpassive. A high ranking government wants to be part of Onpassive and wants to be able to use the technologies, the tools, the services. And I think that growth you can't really measure. Yeah, you can't really measure that growth, but being transparent, being authentic, and have that high integrity is really important for our company as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, why wouldn't you want to be with a company, that's looking out for your best interest, as opposed to with a company that's only care about their own interests, right? It makes a difference, right? Your experience, right? And that's what I love about this whole process, Julie. We've been able to come in from inception, right, and come all the way through and be able to experience the journey, to see all that the company is doing, be able to be behind closed doors and see exactly how you develop such a massive company, right? With our CEO coming to the forefront and being so transparent in the company's activities. That is really, really important. And I certainly appreciate that, knowing what I'm involved in. You're not just jumping to a company and you have no idea what's going on, right? We know that there is a destination that all of us are looking forward to, right? So we know we're getting there. As every day, every week, every month go by, we're a step closer to that, Julie, because we didn't just get involved in Onpassive just to kill time, right? That's not why we're here, right? People want to change their lives, right? People are looking for a better way of living, right? People actually want to live and not just exist, Julie, right? So there's so much that's in store for all of us, and all we have to do is just continue to pay attention, continue to lock in, continue to be engaged with all that's going on, so we know all the updates, we know what's the latest, right? And realize that, yes, we are actually transforming society as a whole, because Onpassive and those that are in Onpassive will be able to impact humanity as a whole, because there's so many that are in need, right? And that's always the focal point. The focal point is always on the public. It's not on us or in. We're just coming along for the ride and be able to experience the journey. But the true strength and the true goal from Passive is to be able to bring this business, bring this type of solution to the world, a single sign on, having everything under one roof, being able to just come in, right, and enjoy what it is that you want to enjoy. Nothing being forced down your throat, nothing saying pull out your credit card, pay, 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 pay. No. Here's value, here's value, here's value. And if you feel that you've received enough value, that's how people exchange money, right? That's how that works. And that's how it should work, right? But unfortunately, a lot of times we get a lot of garbage that we pay for, right? But not here in on passive, right? Here in on passive, people can truly experience value all the time, all the time. And that's one of the things, Julie, that I love about our company.
Absolutely. I love about it too, in a way where I see our relationship, with on passive, not only on passive itself, but the relationship with on passive to others, leaders around the world, are actually growing. If you're currently actually watching this and you're following on passive, social media, YouTube, you can see that there are so many things is going on. You probably already seen some of the images, some of the videos, pictures, and some news out there coming through our own media, which is the marketing arm. When that is happening, you can see the relationship of people within the community itself, Michael. For example, the O Founders community, we see that our professional relationship are growing as well. And then through that professional relationship, we can see some of the individual personal relationships are growing as well. So that's one thing that I'm really treasure, being here with On Passive, Michael.
Mm, absolutely, Julie. Right now, you and I, right, our personal relationship has grown as a result of being a non-passive, and there's so many others, who we have relationships with within the company that has grown over the years. Many I've met for the first time. Even though we've been online for 20 plus years, still a lot of these individuals, like, this is the first time. Some of them, it's the first time they actually see me, Julian. We've done business for a number of years, and we've never met, virtually, only through emails, text, and stuff like that. So on passive, it certainly has allowed that growth in personal relationships to develop, right? And of course, from the corporate standpoint, being able to align ourselves with all these different strategic partners, right? And they're not just any partners, right? It's strategic. Okay, there is something that is there that all of us will benefit from. These corporate relationships that we've seen over the years, and on passive continues to develop that. We continue to grow in those areas. You mentioned about government, right? It's important. If you can forge a relationship with governments, that will help your company, grow leaps and bounds, Julie. Being able to get certain things approved and so on, right? So that's also important. And we've seen our company on passive doing just that, right, over the years. This is not something, it's not a single event, right? But over time, we've seen multiple of these events, right? Multiple relationships being forged. And that's a good thing. And it's going to augur well for every single one of us as we move forward into 2024. 2024 is going to be exciting, Julie, because now we're at the point whereby people can actually purchase products, right? So that means revenues being generated, therefore commissions are being paid out, etc. So that's a good thing, right? That is a good thing, and so we know as we move into the next phase that so many lives are going to be impacted in a positive way, and many are screaming for that. So many people are looking for that, Julie, because there's just been failure after failure, right? And here they finally get an opportunity to be with a company that says, you know what, we can make a difference, and we certainly will, Julie, as we move forward.
Absolutely, Michael. Let's talk a little bit about, in terms of our professional growth. As we are moving along the line with on passive, certain individuals probably going to share on passive in a way, or talking about on passive in a way of doing live, doing questions, answers. Some people sending email. We can see that some of us are actually taking different actions, right? Having different strategies. to actually bring their business to another level, how would you, because I know you're pretty successful in terms of your automatic internet millionaire, there are other things that are still doing that you're probably still doing to different from the year before. you know what are the things that you would, I guess, here I'm trying to get here is that how can we grow in terms of professionally in this business, in this business that we're so blessed to be part of, have an opportunity to be part of this unpassive business.
Well, I mean, for me, Julie, I mean, I consider myself a professional marketer. I don't
Hmm.
just consider myself a marketer, right?
Hmm.
Because I believe there's a difference, right? I don't go knocking on people's doors. I don't chase people, whether it be family, friends, stranger. I don't chase people. I think there's a professional way that you can go about conducting your business that is appealing to others. People don't like to be bothered, Julie. I found that out over the years, right? So I like to take a professional approach in sharing business, and especially on passive, with others, because I believe once they get to understand on passive, they're going to love it, because there's nothing that's out there that's like it, right? So it's going to be a different experience for them. So that means I have to share it in a non-threatening way, Julie. So I personally like email marketing, right? I believe that just about every person, if not every person that's online, have an email address. So therefore, that's an easy way to contact people. They may not be on Facebook, they may not be on Instagram, they may not be on WhatsApp, and so on, right? A lot of people are still not using social media, okay, for a myriad of different reasons why. But we do know that people communicate via email. This is why you go to a store, everybody wants your email address, just to even confirm anything, confirm a flight, like whatever the case may be, they want to be able to reach you by email. So to me, what's different, or what we try to do that's different, is to communicate in such a way that it's just not, there's no threat, there's no force. It's, here's some information, and then it's up to you what you want to do with that information, right? But we go about it in a systematic way, Julie, not just blasting stuff out there at people, but having people's consent. Here's some information I want to share with you. Hey, if you're open to it, then subscribe to get the information. If they're not open to it, they won't subscribe. If they don't subscribe, they don't hear from me, right? It's very, very simple, right? But once once they've made that choice to subscribe, Julie, from there now, the system can take over and automatically send them information about Onpassive, right? And not just specifically about Onpassive, but done in such a way, that you kind of helping the mindset, right? You're sending information to them that's going to help them be open, be receptive to what you're offering in Onpassive. So when you put all that together, Julie, you have a system that individuals can appreciate, because they know they can just click a button and then, okay, that's the end of that, right? If they choose to end that journey, right? Or they can continue and move forward. So to me, that's one way of growing professionally for a lot of people in Onpassive, being able to have something whereby they don't have to run down people, don't have to chase people around, because a lot of people don't want to do that either. You know what I mean? That's why a lot of people join Onpassive, because they realize that they can't sell. They realize they can't recruit no one. They can't, even share, Julie, so they jump into Onpassive, because Onpassive offers Catmo, right? Offers a complete, automated business, including the targeted traffic, all of that, that in the end is going to spin off into commissions going into people's pockets based upon the sales of products. So, people jumped in for that, but people can also help themselves. People can get out of their comfort zone, right? And so this is where we're talking about the growth, right? Is that in time past, you wouldn't want to share, you didn't feel comfortable, you didn't think you had the knowledge or the expertise. But we can use software, and this is part of the success of Onpassive, is to be able to use artificial intelligence, to be able to use technology, right, to do all the heavy lifting on behalf of others, Julie, so that you don't have to do it. You know what I mean? You don't have to speak and explain about Onpassive. We can have technology do that for us, right? You don't have to be the one trying to sell, sell, sell. No, we can actually sell without selling, right? And so on and so forth. So that to me is the best thing that people can walk away with from a professional standpoint, to be able to grow into professional marketer, I would say, right? People can grow into that, right? They don't necessarily have to go to Harvard, to learn how to market. You know what I mean? It's not that difficult, and On Passive is making it easy for everyone around the globe.
Absolutely, Michael. And I love the fact that you share what you just share here, because what I'm trying to get is to bring up the point of, you really have to understand on passive in a way. You don't have to understand the entire on passive, but you got to understand the vision, the concept. You have to understand how it's function. And in order for you to actually share, and for me is, Michael, I'm in sale, and I'm in sale, but I'm not a person who sell all the time. I'm like, I don't sell, I just share success story. And in order for me to share success story, is to be able to understand on passive, understand the people. So it's important here is that for us to be able to have an opportunity to grow in terms of knowledge, or grow in terms of relationship, we got to understand what on passive is. And as we both here has been here talking about on passive, I guess over the past year now, almost over
Mhm.
a year now, since we've been here talking about the values, the connection of Unpassive, the interconnected of Unpassive, the pillars of Unpassive. So if you're currently watching this, and if you want to know more about Unpassive in terms of listening to the discussions that we have, I do have a playlist, Michael, William, Aim, and Julie playlist on this channel. You actually can listen to some of our previous episode as well. Michael, as we are growing, in terms of professional, business wise, we're always all also looking at growing our personal life as well. And I believe this is the time where most of people getting together and hopefully evaluate themselves or assess ourselves of saying, I didn't do this last year, I need to lose weight, I need to get healthier. It's a way of separating ourselves from the old values, and now introducing the new values in this year as well. And so this month, I do hope that everybody's really kind of focused on that growth. How do you want to change? Are you kind of comfortable with where our life is, where your life is? I mean, for me, Michael, I want to have a healthier life. I want to have strict, healthier life. I want to go old, right? And die pretty. That's what I said to myself all the time. So I do every single thing every single day to be able to meet that. And so, what are the things that, I know you pretty healthy yourself? Um, and I mean, if you're currently watching this, you might want to put down, what is your goal? What do you want to grow in terms of, you know, personal life in 2024?
Well, I mean, I I always try to be the best version of myself, Julie. So personally, I don't really make New Year's resolution and all these things because I just find that when people do that, it becomes an event as opposed to a process, right? And for most people, it never works out, right? Okay, I'm gonna start this new diet, and I'm gonna lose whatever 20 pounds, and after a month to maybe 6 weeks, that's out the door, right? So to me, when you make things a way of life, right, it makes it that much easier to accomplish. Okay. And so even if it's losing weight, if you make it a way of life, right, so that every day you're doing something towards that goal. Okay. It's not something where, nope, this is for 90 days or this is for 30 days or no, just make it a way of life. Right. And so, as I go through my days, you're going to have good eating days, you're going to have bad eating days, but as long as you have more of the good days than the bad ones, you're going to be fine. So it's for me, it's never really about New Year's resolutions. But certainly in everything that we do, if you're always trying to give it your best, doing your best, dreaming big, and take big actions. I just don't believe in small. You know what I mean? Like having small goals or small dreams or small aspirations, because if it is small, Julie, you're not going to accomplish it.
Sure.
You're not going to. It has to be so big, right? That just in case you don't actually achieve it, you're still going to be okay, right? So, let me give you an example. So, let's say for me, I want to make, we use income because, people are always about money. So if somebody says, you know what, I want to make $10,000 a month in income, right? Well, first of all, you need to have a plan to achieve that because most people in the world, like 99% of the people in the world, probably, don't make that. All right, so that's a big goal in of itself. Okay, but for me, I like to think, even bigger than that, Julie. Okay, right? Because if that is what the actual goal is, I have to think beyond that just in case maybe I'm 80% successful, 70% successful. You know what I mean? So it has to be something massive, right? But yet realistic though. Like you don't just say, "Oh, I want to make $1 billion a year." Like chances are, like 99.9% chance you're not going to achieve that. So why even dream like that, right? So you want to dream something big, but it also has to be realistic. The same with your weight loss goal or whatever it is that people have, just to be healthy, right? It may not even be weight loss. You just want to be healthy, right? And so you have to make those choices. Okay, what am I going to eat? Am I getting my fruits in? Am I getting my vegetables in? And so on. Like whatever it is for each person, they have to define that for themselves. But the point is, you want to, do it in a massive way, right? When you start to dream big, think big, great things will happen in your life, right? And I don't mean just thinking big just for thinking big. Like I said, you have to have a plan to accomplish whatever it is that you're putting your mind to, right? And once you put that plan together, it's a miracle, I like to say, as to how things work out, Julie. Right? You start to see changes going on in your life because you have the big goal, but then you break it down into just daily action plan. What am I doing each day towards that? Right? If you're a student in school and say, well, I'm taking chemistry and I want to, get a 95% in chemistry. Okay, well, what are you doing each day to help you get towards that goal? You know what I mean? Are you studying? Are you reviewing the lessons from that day? You know what I mean? You have to be taking steps. There has to be a plan in place in order for you to get there. Because if you have no plan, you might as well just throw that dream out. You know what I mean? The great thing about Onpassive is that Onpassive is helping us, be able to dream again because there is a plan in place, Julie. You understand? There's a master plan in place to help all of us achieve our dreams, right? So because we know that plan is in place, we can dream big, right? We can dream big because many of us will be able to accomplish those dreams and aspirations that we have for ourselves and our family, right? It's going to happen. As our CEO says, it's a done deal, right? But that's kind of how people, I believe, that they should go about in their personal lives, and starting to think of the new year, think of 2024, what they would like to accomplish, what they want to see for themselves. Is to have some sort of big master plan, and then you break that plan down in bits and pieces, right? Things that can realistically be accomplished. And together over time, because you make it a way of life, over time, you start to see these changes, you start to see these transformations. And to me, that's how you go about doing it.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love the fact that you brought up, to be the best version of yourself is unpassive allows that to happen. On passive, not allow it, that's the wrong word. On passive, giving us that opportunity where all of us can be the best version of ourselves. In order to be the best version of ourselves, is we have to start making goals. We allow ourselves to start dreaming our own dream instead of the neighbor's dream or your partner's dream. Dreaming our own dream and set that certain goal to meet that dream. And also, I also believe that shifting our mindset is also it's part of the process of growing process as well. You're going to start with shifting your mindset in a way where you want to be, or you want to meet that goal, you want to meet that dream. So I think it's really important for all of us to make that as a plan this month if we haven't done so. It's how do we want to grow, because on passive, giving us that opportunity to use the tools, the services, everything that we can do, and the financial part of it as well. I mean, as you can see lately, you can start seeing more, I guess, payment windows open. You have chance to actually make the payment to the product. You actually have a chance to share on passive with other people. And I think that's part of something that we are doing, and that's something that I said to myself as every day, is to live that dream, to set that dream, to shift that mindset. And there's something that you know Susie actually mentioned about it this morning when I had a conversation with her. Is I was sharing with her that I talked about, we talk about the growth topic today. And she said, this is something that her mentor had told her before, is to focus on our strength and manage around our weaknesses. And that's what we need to do, is what are identifying our strength? What are the strengths that we have? And I mean, Onpassive has given me a lot of tools and a lot of conversation being with Mr. Mufareh and with the community helped me to identify my strength as well. And I would like to send that out there and suggest it to our friends here who are listening, is to focusing on our strength and really manage around it. What do we need to work on? Michael?
Well, that's easy for me, Julie, because I have no weakness. So just kidding, just
Kudos
kidding.
to you.
Right? But I love the fact that you brought up mindset, though, right? Because you know, a lot of people I've found, always thinking or coming from a place of scarcity, right? Thinking there isn't enough, you know. And when we do that, we end up not having enough, right? So, we need to come from a place of abundance, right? So we have to believe, because it's true, it's factual, that there's more than enough out there for everyone, right? There's no shortage of knowledge, right? There just isn't. There's no shortage of, physical resources. Wealth can be obtained by so many around the world, just that a lot of people don't have the know-how. They've not been given that opportunity, right? And this is where Onpassive is coming in. Onpassive is saying, no, we believe that there's more than enough out there for everyone. We believe that we can put together a plan to help people achieve what it is that they want in their lives, right? Because we have to understand that when we look at from the global community, right, not everyone is not in the same boat. You may have someone in Papua New Guinea, for example, whereby, hey, if that person is generating an income of $2,000 to $3,000 per month, that person is living really, really well in Papua New Guinea, right? As an example, right? Take a place like India. Okay, 1.4 billion people. That's a lot of people, right? And so there, someone who's living on 6,000 to 10,000 US dollars a year is just not the same as someone that lives in California, right, in the United States, on that same income. Like it's just night and day, right? And so, when we say there's more than enough for everyone, we're not saying that everyone around the world should be millionaires, because it's not necessary, right? All depends on where you live, okay? The cost of living and all of that stuff, right? But the point is, when we look at the world, when we look at this planet Earth, when we look at all the continents, all the people that are here, we can see that, yes, there is enough for everyone, where everyone can live, a good life, a good life, okay? Whatever that may mean to you, right? So I love the fact that in Onpassive, a lot of, especially early bird founding members, have been able to work on their mindset, able to wrap their mind around the fact that, yes, you know what? I can start to think in abundance, right? I don't have to keep living in a place of scarcity. I don't have to remain being poor, right? That may be my current position, but I don't have to remain there though. I can do something about it. I can, change my situation and my surroundings, my environment. Okay. And so people are starting to believe that. Okay. And so as they made the decision to come into Onpassive, they realized that, wow, you know, this is actually a reality, right? This can actually happen. And so that now becomes contagious. That type of mindset, that positive mindset, that mindset of believing that, yes, there's abundance in this world, right? And we don't have to be poor. People start to catch a hold of that, and that is going to start going viral, Julie. And so that's one of the things I looked to see in the upcoming year in 2024. I look to see that because we're starting to experience, some of that as of September 1st of this year, right? Many have started to experience that, and that's going to carry over into 2024. So again, can you imagine when we hear December of 2024 having this conversation? What will that conversation be like, Julie? How many lives would have been impacted just over the next short 12 months? That's something that's exciting to look forward to.
Absolutely. When we're talking about mindset and the excitement that are coming that you have mentioned, we have to literally keeping ourselves or separating ourselves from the negativity, the down, the gloomy and doomy. We got to really feeding ourselves in terms of positive energy, positive vibe, positive, like correct information as well, because I do understand that there are so many crazy things that are happening in this world. Are we going to every single day feeding ourselves with those news, those terrible and scaries and negativity, instead of feeding ourselves with positive energy, positive conversations with our friend? And I think that's another point that we want to kind of reminding people to feeding ourselves with the information that help us grow instead of the information that keeping us behind.
Yeah, well, we can certainly choose what we retain, right? So, sometimes, I'll say that I'm having a conversation with someone, but it kind of goes in and it goes right back out. You know what I mean? And if you ask, well, what did they say? I'm like, I don't know, right? Because I wasn't really paying attention because it wasn't important, right? So we can make a choice, right? So we are bombarded with a lot of information every single day, but we can pick and choose what we're going to hold on to, right? And so I choose to hold on to the positive things, Julie, and I find it does me good. I believe I'm in good health. um, and part of that, is the information that you take in, right? It's not just the food that you eat, but it's also the information that you take in. If you surround yourself with just negativity all the time, that in itself can make you sick, right? It certainly can, right? So it's not just the actual physical food, but it's the spiritual food as well, right? The words, all these things that come into you. So we can choose though what it is that we want to accept. So there's certain places I don't go searching for negativity, Julie. I mean, some people, for whatever reason, they love to do that, right? I choose not to, right? I choose to focus on the positive. Now, it doesn't mean because I'm focused on positivity mean that negativity doesn't exist. Of course it exists, right? We know it exists, but I don't have to participate in it, right? I don't have to take it on. I don't have to, bring that into my life, right? It's a choice, okay? So it's all around you. You can't escape it. You know what I mean? But again, it's a choice. You can choose what information that you want to retain. And so if we continue to keep the positive things and let the negative things kind of come in and go out, right? We're going to be in a better place, And so over the years, right, as we've been working with Onpassive, right, it's teaching us discipline, Julie. It's teaching us to be patient, right? So many people come into money and then they just lose it all, and their life is more miserable than it was before the money, right? So it's important to, get your mind right, be able to think right, be able to appreciate money for what it is, not something to be loved. You understand? Not something to be focused on. But we certainly need it to do the things that we want to do in life. If I want to help people, want to bless the lives of other people, I certainly need it. Okay, but it's never my focal point. It's never the thing that, oh yes, money, money, more money. No, right? That's just to me the wrong attitude towards it, right? But use it as a vehicle, use it as a tool, for what it is, and appreciate people more so. That's why we talk about value on passive, right? It's not so much the money we want to talk about, it's the value that we want to talk about. We want to talk about being able to enhance the lives of other people around us, right? Making people's life more comfortable, putting people in a better environment, taking people out of the rat race, if you wish, and put them in a better place, taking people out of, bad situations, physical situations, right? And the list goes on of what we can do, around the world because of our position within Onpassive, and so those are the things, Julie, that we love about this company and the growth within the company itself, but also within its people, right? The growth when we look around and we see people who are now, doing all these amazing webinars, when before, you've never heard them speak even two words, right? And so many people have gotten out of that shell because they've grown, right? And now they're able to communicate, right? Communication is not easy. It's not easy to communicate, right? And then you have effective communication, because not all the communication is effective. Sometimes people just blabbing, 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 and that's all it is. Okay. So we've seen people, go from just being, shell shock, if you wish, right, to where they're so comfortable being able to speak amongst, any and anyone, whether it's a group of five or whether it's a group of 500 or 5,000. They're now comfortable, whereas before they weren't. So there's been so much growth within this company. So if we stop right now, Julie, we can look back and see all the good that Onpassive has done already, and we're just getting started.
Absolutely. I'm very strongly, I feel very strong, um, and appreciate the fact that we get the chance to be here. And no matter whether or not we are growing or stop wanting to grow, Unpassive will continue to grow. And so we, as a founders and as the ambassador, as a early bird of Unpassive, how are we going to grow with Unpassive as well? The way to do it is to stay in touch, stay plugged in, go back to the update in O Founders. There are so many informations on there, and I believe it. Any ones that are out there that just really come back and staying plugged in with the information. If you are going to the O Founders update, you probably be able to catch up with all the information that you've missed. If someone came to me and asked me about Unpassive, oh, how is it, how has it been, it would probably take me a month to actually give them the information,
Right.
because there is so much information to share. And we have been absorbing those information, and that actually help us professionally and personally life grow as well. And so we do, both Michael and I hope that you like this topic today, and we hope that you take some of what we shared today to even, I don't know, apply it, use it. And I myself, listening to this conversation, I picked out several things that I actually could use and apply for myself, for my personal growth as well. So it's truly, the important part of it is grow with the community. I mean, all of us, we can actually reach out a little further to help another person or two, or a community. Having understanding of Unpassive, I'm very sure we could change a few more lives, or just the people around us. And this month, December of 2023, is a very important month as well, as we understand what's coming. And the only way for all of us to know what is coming this month, preparing for 2014, is to go back to, and get to know that information, stay update with it. And it is true to leave the old values, the negativities, the incorrect information behind, and stay with the right information, the right group of people, and the right friendships as well. If you have if you happen to know some people that every single day was talking about how things that so negative, Why don't you leave that group? Don't let that poison let that toxin to let toxic to toxin yourself basically. Just leave it and be be with the right environment, and that's what I wanted to bring up. Michael, anything, any points, any other points you want to bring up?
Yeah. Well, again, Julie, what you're saying is choice, right? Choice. People just have to realize that just about everything in life is a choice, right? Like just about. There's certain things that you don't choose. Like you don't choose your parents, you don't choose your siblings. You know what I mean? You don't choose, where you were born. There's certain things that are not a choice. But for the most part, right? Things in life are choices, right? And so you could make that choice, right? And as far as information goes, you want consistent information. Okay.
Mhm.
And the place to get that consistent information is in your OES, is in your old founders office. Like that's where you go and get that information. You log into your old founders account, you go under updates, and there's so much that has been done. I mean, there are people, within the company, that are volunteering their time, to make these written recaps of important information and so on. It's there for you. It's there for us, right? For those that are involved. So you certainly want to take advantage of that, right? Just log in, be consistent, whether you do it every week, every month, however you want to do it, but just on a consistent basis. Always check for updates so what is the latest, going on. Do yourself a favor, take responsibility for yourself, for your success, because at the end of the day, it's really about you. At the end of the day, right? You're in this for you. You're in this for you and your family. You understand? You didn't get involved in this because of Julie. You know what I mean? You're not doing it for Julie. You know what, Julie? Yeah, okay, just to help you out, I'm gonna come in. It has nothing to do with that, folks. Right? Onpassive is a business that's for everyone, everywhere, right? Regardless of your background. You don't need to be someone with a PhD or a master's degree to be involved in Onpassive. You don't need to be somebody who's tech savvy to be involved in Onpassive. Just come as you are, right? And as you come as you are and you open up yourself and you absorb all that is there, you're going to leave a much better person. Okay, you're going to see that your life is going to be impacted in a positive way, because that's what Onpassive is about. Okay, Onpassive is about uplifting humanity. You are a part of humanity. Okay, and so if you come in to Onpassive, you will be uplifted. Okay, a lot of people have looked to Onpassive for a source of strength, right? They may be having a crappy day, and because they engage with another founding member, all of a sudden now, their outlook has changed. You know what I mean? Instead of having that frown, now it's a smile. Just little things. And sometimes little things are the things that means the most in life. And so when you can put together a group of little things, then now they become a big thing, right? So just be consistent in what you do, and be consistent to yourself, right? Be consistent. As I talked about, making things a way of life. Anything you want to achieve, make it a way of life, and you're going to achieve it. There's no doubt about it. The reason a lot of people fail is because it's always about an event. That's the number one reason. You know what I mean? They're looking for, I need money now. I need this relationship now. I need this change now. Everything's now, now, now. When we talk about now, 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 we're talking about events. Okay, life doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? You don't just you're born and then all of a sudden you're 60 years old. You know what I mean? There's a process for that to happen, right? And that process has not changed. You know what I mean? You're gonna go after 1 year and then 2 year and 3. You can't skip. You know what I mean? Unless you're in a coma or something like that, like you can't skip, right? So just be consistent and be true to yourself. At the end of the day, you're going to be a winner in Onpassive. Every single person that's in Onpassive will be a winner, but you can choose, how you benefit from that journey, right? You can choose. It's a choice, right? So make the right choice, and stay positive. It's going to help you mentally. It's going to help you physically. You know what I mean? You don't need any more stress in your life. There's more than enough things out there to stress you out. You certainly don't need Onpassive to be another one. And then if you truly understand and appreciate what Onpassive is, that isn't the case. You will walk away being a better person just by being acquainted with Onpassive, right? It's simple as that, Julie. It's as simple as that.
Absolutely, everyone. With the growth of Onpassive, we are going to grow all together, and it's a choice. It's a choice that we have to make every day to do that. And as much as we love Onpassive, as much as Onpassive is growing, if we ourselves staying stagnant, staying just in one spot, we're not going to grow together. So, personally, myself, we're working toward that growth together with Onpassive, because when we are growing in terms of our personal, professional life, the next person that in our circle, the next friends, the people that we reached out will get to actually benefit from that growth from ourselves as well. So let's grow, all of us, let's grow together in terms of, working together, make choices, makes better choices in terms of growing in our business as well. So thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Thank you for listening in. We will see you next time. Make sure you stay plugged in. Look in the back office in OES, in O Founders. Make sure you stay in touch with the information. Exciting things that happen. I can feel it. Hope you do the same thing. Take care.